So in this video, I just want to introduce the basic practice of mindfulness breath meditation. Probably the most practiced, most common form of mindfulness, where you're just going to focus on your breath. So you want to focus on your breath wherever feels comfortable for you. So some people feel it more in their abdomens or in their bellies, and for other people they feel it more going in and out of their nose. And for each person it's different, and each time you practice it can be different. And so as you're focusing on your breath, you want to try to quiet the thoughts in your mind. You're never going to get rid of them altogether. But at a certain point you're realizing there's not even any focus on your breath, and you've gone off and you're distracted by something outside, or your own thoughts, or emotions, or physical discomfort. There's so many ways to get distracted, quite frankly, and you will experience them all, even if you just sit for 3 to 5 minutes of trying to focus. And once your mind gets distracted, though, that is the moment where you need to refocus, and that's really where the therapy happens. That's where the change happens. It's where the rewiring of the brain happens. A lot of people feel so discouraged because they're like, I have to constantly refocus. I'm like, that's exactly what's going to change your brain. Focus, refocus, focus, refocus is where the therapy is. If you're going for more spiritual development and enlightenment, longer periods of quiet are more important. But most of us are just trying to manage our 21st century levels of stress more effectively. And when you refocus, the other piece of that is to do it with compassion and acceptance for yourself, for what the human mind it is and how it works. Most of us like to tell ourselves a story that, oh, we're so logical, we think very clear thinkers. But when you actually sit back and watch your thoughts, it's a little bit humbling to see how all over the place we can be, but that's part of being human. And so a big piece of this practice is developing compassion for yourself and acceptance of what is. And a monkey mind, as they often call it in some Buddhist circles, is part of what is in terms of the human mind. So when you're first starting out, a lot of people find it helpful to do something like, say, peace in, peace out. That can be called a mantra, or even counting. And because mindfulness should not be a competition sport, your counting should just be, 1 breath up to 10 breaths, then back down to 1. Because that can also help people reduce their anxiety about, oh, how long did I focus? So finding something that can help you focus can be useful. And I very much recommend, and the research is very clear, rather than taking 20 minutes on a Sunday to do all of your mindfulness once a week, it's much more effective to spend 2 to 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week in small doses, because it's the accumulation of doing this over time that makes it so effective rather than the long chunks. And when every day you're refocusing that brain, practicing the refocusing, you're laying down new neural pathways and thickening them, and that really happens with the daily practice more than the long chunks of time, less often.